Please join us for the pledge. Mr. McCarthy.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Supervisor Warren,
Here.
Councilman McCarthy,
Here.
Councilwoman Noah. Yes. Councilwoman Inzarella,
Here.
Councilman Logan.
Yeah. Okay, we'll begin sitting as the Board of Water Commissioners. Madam Clerk.
Number one is a public hearing. The Board of Water Commissioners to consider the increase and improvement of facilities of the St. James Water District.
Mr. Musnug, are you going to do the public hearing? Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners of the St. James Water District. My name is Donald Musnug, Town Comptroller, and this is a hearing to consider an increase and improvement of facilities of the St. James Water District pursuant to Section 202B of the Town Law in advance of a bond resolution scheduled to be voted on at the January 7th, 2020 meeting. The increase and improvement to the facilities consist of installation of a new replacement water main on Lake Avenue, replacement of hydrants, transfer of water services to the new water main, and abandonment of the existing main. Connection of the new main to existing mains, trench restoration, asphalt restoration, and any ancillary or related work required in connection therewith. This work was originally approved on January 9th, 2018 in the amount of $2,317,000. The new amount requested is $3,129,000, an increase of $812,000. This constitutes a Type 2 secret action, and no further environmental review is required for purposes of secret. Notice was published in the official town newspaper and also posted on the town clerk's signboard pursuant to Subdivision 6 of Section 30 of the town law.
Okay, does anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing? Being anybody on the town board?
Nothing.
Okay, I move to close the hearing.
Second. Supervisor Warren,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilman Logan.
Thank you, Mr. Musnug.
Okay, minutes approval for the Board of Water meeting dated November 21st. Number three, the Board of Water Commissioners to authorize the following. Number one, in accordance with the increase by the Suffolk County Water Authority of the rate which it charges to the Smithtown Water District and to the St. James Water District, that effective January 1st, 2020, the water rates of the Smithtown and St. James Water Districts will be increased to $2.36 per 1,000 gallons from the existing rate of $2.25. And number two is a transfer.
Councilman Logan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Warren.
Yes. That concludes Water Authority reconvening as a town board.
Number one, appointments by the supervisor. Number 1 through 4 are appointments to the Youth Advisory Board. Shala Pascucci, Alexa Grimley, Alexa Rand, and Laura Campanelli. Number 2, correspondence. Number 1, Kings Park Parade, 9th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, 3rd reading. 2, Kings Park Youth Opening Day Parade, 3rd reading. Number 3 is being withdrawn due to a change of date. And number 4 is the Building Department report for November 2019.
Okay, does anyone in the audience wish to be heard on any of these special events? None being heard, we'll continue.
Public hearings. Number 1, the town board to consider the town's entry onto certain real property located at 735 East Main Street in Kings Park for the purpose of remediating and/or removing the structure which has been designated as unsafe in accordance with the unsafe building standards of Chapter 112-25.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. My name is Martin Simon. I'm an Assistant Town Attorney for the Town of Smithtown. The purpose of today's first public hearing is for the board to determine whether or not it wishes to go upon the property and remove the structure which has been determined as unsafe by the building director via an unsafe determination made on October 24th, 2019. In the building director's unsafe notice, he cited several factors with regard to the property, the first of which was the building being structurally unsafe, the property abandoned in general, property maintenance issues at the site, unsanitary conditions at the site, as well as obsolescence of the structure at the site. And it has passed its lifespan as a commercial property. It's important to note that subsequent to the unsafe determination, the property owner did go and get its building permits to fix up the site on November 12th. It got a permit for site work. It also got a permit for commercial additions and renovations to the structure. As of today, work is being performed at the site, but the work is limited to site work. So the building director would like to see some more improvement at the site along the lines of getting into the building, both inside and outside, and working on the building. I know Mr. Tramarko, the property owner's attorney, is here, and he'd like to be heard today as well.
Okay, Mr. Chamarko?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tramarko. I represent Sandra Lee, who was the owner of the subject property on Route 25A. As Mr. Simon indicated, a building permit was issued November 12th. I have a copy of it. Also, a site work permit. And my understanding is the building inspector, the chief building inspector, did send an inspector there yesterday. I don't know what the results were of that inspection. However, I can say that, number one, the entire property is fenced. Outside work with respect to grading is done, but more importantly, inside work has begun. And I talked to the contractor just this morning, and he indicated that the first thing that he had to do and is doing is shoring up the property from the basement to the first floor to the second floor in order to make it safe. They are doing some interior demolition, but as I indicated, safety first. They had to make it safe before they do any further work. He also told me that they ordered trusses, and the whole roof system should be coming in 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm perplexed to understand why the building inspector suggests this type of a hearing when, one, it was him who issued the building permit, and two, we're working on the property. So I respectfully request this hearing be adjourned, I guess, until maybe further investigation be done by the building department. There is work being done, and we know it was an eyesore for many years, but we're fixing that, and the ultimate use will be an animal hospital on the property. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chamarko. For the record, we've noticed, made notice that they are finally beginning to work on the grounds and the structure, so we're aware of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody in the audience wish to be heard on that public hearing? None? Okay, we'll move on. Move to close the hearing?
Second. Supervisor Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarella?
Yes.
Councilman Loman?
Yes.
The next hearing is the town board to consider the town's entry onto certain real property located at 38 Crocus Lane in Comac for the purpose of remediating and/or removing the structure which has been designated as unsafe in accordance with the unsafe building standards.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. Again, Martin Simon, Assistant Town Attorney, Town of Smithtown. The purpose of today's second public hearing is for the town board to determine whether or not it wants to go upon the property to remediate the unsafe structure that is at the property. The house at the property was found unsafe by the building director on October 21st of this year. The building director, again, cited several factors which he based his decision upon. The structure is structurally unsafe, abandoned. There are property maintenance issues at the site, unsanitary conditions, and obsolescence. It's important to note that at this time, 6 summonses were issued to both the property owner and the bank for property maintenance violations at the site. The property owner, John Frederick, does not live at the site. He lives down in Patchogue. He did come to court and appear. The bank is showing some effort. The building director indicated yesterday that a new roof has been put on the building and that some of the property maintenance issues have been dealt with, but there is still a ways to go. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, does anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing? None? Move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Number 3, the town board to consider proposed amendments to Chapter 119 of the Town Code.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Janice Hanson, Assistant Town Attorney. The purpose of this hearing is to consider a number of changes to Chapter 119, the special events section of our code. The proposed amendments would change, for starters, we'd be able to regulate special events conducted for-profit as well as not-for-profit. Currently, they're only for nonprofit or charitable organizations, but the revised code would allow the town to issue permits and regulate all special events. Applications for permits are currently required to be filed 6 months in advance. That would be reduced to 60 days in advance. If adopted, 2 affidavits of posting would be required instead of 1. One of those would be immediately preceding the event to ensure that the public is aware of where and when the event is taking place. Only 1 reading by the town board would be required before issuing a permit, and it would be the town clerk rather than the town board that would be responsible for issuing the permit. And with regard to parades, the same changes that I just stated would apply, with 1 additional change, which is that the parade route would be promulgated by the town board rather than the public safety department. So that summarizes the changes in Chapter 119, unless there are any questions. That concludes my public hearing.
Okay, anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing? None being, thank you very much, Counselor. I move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Number 4, advertise for public hearing. The town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall on Tuesday, January 7th, 2020 at 2 p.m. to consider proposed amendments to Chapter 322 of the Town Code.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
And 5, consent agenda controller, which is numbers 1 through 37. And number 6 is consent agenda resolution, numbers 1 through 9.
Okay, does anyone on the town board wish to have anything removed from the consent agenda?
No.
Okay, then we can vote.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
7, under resolutions, A, the town board to issue a secret negative declaration, determination of non-significance in the following matters. 1, the town board's own motion to adopt the local solid waste management plan revised June of 2019. Number 2, the town board's own motion to adopt the local waterfront revitalization program update dated September 2019.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
B, the town board to issue a secret positive declaration, determination of significance in the following matter. 1, the town board's own motion to adopt the Kings Park Downtown Revitalization Master Plan.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned to town hall on the date indicated. Number 1, bid 19-118, annual supply contract for lumber, plywood, and building materials. 2, bid 19-120, handicapped accessible concrete ramp at Smithtown Landing, rebid. 3, bid 19-21, trucks, 10-wheel with sand and salt spreaders, used.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to award the following bids and to authorize the purchase of associated goods or services. 1, bid 19-89 for janitorial supplies to Amity Vacuum and WB Mason. 2, bid 19-106, road and landscape supplies to Long Island Sound Transport and B&B Maintenance Services and Biddle and Sons.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
E, the town board to approve the following. Number 1, adoption of the Community Development Program year 2020. 2, town attorney or appropriate official to enter into a stipulation of settlement or agreement and consent to the entry of an order with regard to various tax certiorari matters for various tax years. 3, workers' compensation insurance agreement with New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation Alliance. 4, authorize an increase in fees collected at the Municipal Services Facility in connection with the tipping and disposal of residentially generated construction and demolition debris. 5, addition of Lisa McQuilkin Land Surveying to the town's pre-qualified list of professional service consultants. 6, purchase of fueling system equipment for the Smithtown Marina from Henrik Global Fueling System. 7, extension of bid 18-83 for the purchase of surplus material with Gershaw Recycling. 8, professional services agreement with the Research Foundation for the State University of New York for services concerning delineation of the high water line. 9, cancellation of town board meeting scheduled for Thursday, February 13th, 2020. 10, amendment to contract RFP number 17-79 with VHP Engineering for professional services to complete a design plan for downtown Kings Park revitalization. 11, town board to approve amendments to chapter 101 of the town code entitled Department of Parks, Buildings and Grounds to modify the schedule of fees effective immediately. 12, terminate agreements with Agira Energy for natural gas services. 13, agreement to amend the agreement with CSEA regarding the wage and salary plan to eliminate the titles of account clerk typist and senior account clerk typist and amend the salary grades of account clerk and senior account clerk. 14, agreement to amend an agreement with the CSEA to amend the work hours for titles senior lighting inspector and traffic engineer.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
F, the town board to approve the following zoning matter. Conditionally approve zoning petition 2013-5 by KPE2 LLC located on Old Northport Road for a change of zone from light industry to residential single-family.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
And number 2, local waterfront revitalization program, a written consistency determination pursuant to chapter 151 of the town code, that application 2019-11 is consistent with the LWRP.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
G, the town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following on a form approved by the town attorney. 1, satisfactions of mortgage for participating home improvement clients that are received and referred by the Planning and Community Development Department. 2, assignment of agreement from Governmental Capital Corporation to Santander Leasing with respect to the lease purchase agreement with Government Capital Corporation for a VATCon truck. 3, agreement with Landscape Structures Incorporated to supply playground equipment and install a safety surface at Kings Park Memorial Park. 4, agreement with Rapid Armored Corporation to provide pickup and delivery to official depositories for the tax receiver's office. Number 5, contract between the County of Suffolk and the Town of Smithtown for the nutrition program for the elderly. Number 6, 7, and 8 are agreements with Henrik Equipment for services relating to monitoring fuel storage tanks in various town facilities, including highway yards in Smithtown and Kings Park, and managing compliance services for the town-owned Long Beach Marina. Number 9, authorize the supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement with the Incorporated Village of Lloyd Harbor to allow e-waste to be disposed of at the town's municipal services facility. 10, contract with H2M Architects and Engineers to prepare a survey and mapping of the 2 acres behind the Jewish Brotherhood of Kings Park. 11, 12, and 13 are agreements and amendments to the CSEA Local 852 regarding wage and salary plan to add a title of Senior Citizen Program Supervisor. And the wage and salary plan to change the salary grade for the title of Principal Planner.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes to all except for 11 and 12, and I'd just like to put on record that for number 11, we have an internal software where the board gets to approve and not approve. So I have originally disapproved it. Somehow there was a glitch that I'm looking directly with the company about. So internally you may not see it, but I just want it on record, just in case this happens again.
For the record, Councilwoman Anzarella voted no on 11 and 12. Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham?
Yes.
H, the town board to approve settlement in the following matters per recommendation of the town attorney. Dolores Davies versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $1,865.56.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham?
Yes.
And number 8 is personnel. The town board to approve the following personnel matters. They are number 1 through 17 as per the printed agenda.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes for all except for number 9, I am abstaining from it.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes to all except for number 16.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham?
Yes. Okay, that concludes resolutions. We will move to the public speaking portion. Those who chose to come up and speak, public participation is subject to the rules of decorum which you have on your speaker card. That is Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced on a per-person basis. Please give your name and address to the clerk, and please address the town board.
David Barnes.
Good afternoon, Supervisor Wareheim, Town Council. I'd like to speak today regarding my appointment as Director of Environmental Protection. As a registered landscape architect with a degree in environmental planning, I will work tirelessly to serve the town board and the residents of Smithtown to protect, preserve, and enhance the environment of the town of Smithtown. Leading the experienced and dedicated staff at the Department of Environment and Waterways, which is responsible for recycling, solid waste, CEQA environmental reviews, urban forestry, and water quality issues, as well as environmental restoration projects that the department undertakes, will be a very rewarding experience, and I look forward to it. I will work to assure that growth and development within our town will be environmentally sustainable, so that Smithtown will remain a beautiful place for all of us to live in the future. Thank you. Supervisor, do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Barnes, and congratulations. I'm sure you're gonna do a fine job for the town board and the residents of Smithtown.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Eileen Taborski.
Good afternoon.
Please speak into the mic.
Yes,
Thank you.
I come here this afternoon. I'm concerned about the watermill water going into the ground. I'm here today with what I feel is proof of which way Watermill's water will travel if Scotto Hotel is built. I have a copy of, from 425, from Newsday, a story, I made copies for you people, of the plume from the gas-laden water flowing from Exxon leaking tanks on the layer of clay under the surface of the soil. And 347 comes from Wisconsin down a hill and rolls to the creek, which goes into Nissaquag, and that layer of clay I don't believe is ever going to change. I have also a paper about Branch Brook flooding remedy that was from 2010. The water problems keep coming up and coming up. I have a copy of something from the DEC chief walking in the northern each branch to find solutions about water problems. I have Exhibit 4, Homes on Tower Place in Smithtown flooding. What will we have to do? Raise our homes on stilts like the done on the South Shore to live here because the water just, the pumps are pumping and pumping in this whole neighborhood. I know there's the environmental impact statement is being done about the water, but these are things that have all happened in the past, and I think a lot of it is forgotten. Let's see. Okay, that's the main thing I want to say. Also, with additional traffic, Terry Road is frequented by ambulances going south or going north, because when they're going north, they're going to St. Catharines or Stony Brook. My time is up.
1 minute, ma'am.
Go ahead.
1 minute, oh, okay. Channel 12 News said that this was about 2 years ago that we had a 5-year drought in the area. Now, in September, it was said that September was the 8th driest September on record since 1885. Now it's just, we've had a little bit of rain. I don't know who goes across the footpath, I can't think of it, on Bow Drive. And I do frequently on my bicycle. The water's this high from the top of that footpath, and we're just getting over a drought. So it is my concern. I hope you accept these papers and take it into account. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just give it to my deputy, please. Right here. Thank you.
It's,
Okay, thank you.
We'll hand them out for you.
Okay,
this is just, ooh, this is one set?
yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I know.
That's okay, just, you can leave it.
All right, would you want me to go through it? The librarian helps me, but this is the plume, shows the plume. Here's the mobile station. Here's the Exxon station. Watermill is right here.
Okay, are you gonna stay for the rest of the meeting?
I wasn't going to. Do
Oh.
you need me?
Well, I was gonna say you could show me after the meeting, so we can continue.
How long do you think the meeting will go?
Just another few minutes,
Oh,
maybe
okay, I'll
another
be here.
10,
Okay, that's
15
fine.
minutes.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay. Tim Waltz?
Good afternoon, Supervisor and the Town Board. I have two problems with your investigating department at Public Safety, okay? Number one, I did call a vehicle, late winter, early spring, on First Street between Second Avenue, Third Avenue. The registration's up since November of 2015, and the inspection's up. And they have not removed the vehicle still. And there's a red Mustang in the driveway, not car covered to the town code. But we had a car in the street, and our neighbor across the street called the police on September 30th because our inspection was up, which we had to remove off the street. I do not understand your town people and the police department, because I have called the police on this vehicle too, and that. And another problem is if you have a 6-foot fence, your neighbor looks over, calls your building, your inspectors, your investigating department, which the town signed off, and Mr. Simon, which was caught with my father back in November, did not show on December 3rd, and at the December 3rd court hearing, Karen Sylvester was there, and Kathy was there, and they did not show my father the pictures of the backyard, and did not give him specifics what needed to be cleaned up. And Mr. Simon was going to look into the 2008 court records on that. Now, to me, if you have a 6-foot fence up, why would you, then you don't even need a 6-foot fence, so all your neighbors can see what's in your backyard. That's right of privacy. And that's why I'm against stuff. That a neighbor behind us turned us in for what our backyard looks like. That's against privacy. And called your investigator at the time and took pictures of a 6-foot fence into our yard. That is against privacy.
Thank you, Mr. Walls.
Christine Garapuda?
Good afternoon, Supervisor and Board. My name's Christine Garapuda. I live at 7 Cathy Court in Nesconset, and I'm here not really with a prepared speech or anything. I don't really come to these meetings, but something has been weighing on me since I've moved here 23 years ago, and it seems like it's finally something's going to start happening, and I just want my voice heard about it because whether you know it or not, your decisions really affect the people who live here. There are apartment buildings being made, 180 of them, 50 feet from my house, or they're leaving a 50-foot buffer. And I'd like to express that I live off of Gibbs Pond Road, which leads to Smithtown Boulevard, which has already itself become a nightmare in the past couple of years due to the 7-Eleven and the Cumberland Farms traffic. I get off of Gibbs Pond. I'm sorry, I'm on Cathy. I try to make a right or a left on Gibbs Pond, and I have to sit there now for 10 minutes sometimes because the traffic is from Smithtown Boulevard all the way up to another road past mine, which I can't think of right now. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. This is going to affect the traffic even more, these buildings, with 180 apartments coming in, and I just want you to know that there's wildlife in there. That's going to be, I'd love to know what's going to happen with them. I'm not just talking about birds. There's actually deer in this area. I know that this decision was made 23 years or more ago, but the surveys for the EPA that were done back then have changed. The circumstances have changed greatly between the population, the fumes from cars. Now we're going to be having 180 apartments. Who knows how many cars that's going to bring in with the traffic that already I feel my house that I've invested everything I can into over the years is already being affected by the car fumes. So the pollution has risen already in this area. This part of town has become somehow the metropolis of Smithtown, and I can say that everyone in my area is quite sick of that. It was a nice community to live in, and I still want to continue to live there. I intended to live there for the rest of my life. But I feel like with this upheaval between just construction itself, we already had it when they started doing it one time before, that we were ridden with mice. And I just want you to know that these decisions that you make really affect where we live. And I want to stay there. And like I said, these surveys really need to be done. And also asking for $7 million for us to pay when we don't even want it done in the first place is basically just despicable. I don't know what else to say except to implore you to please think about the decisions and please, thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Phyllis Hart.
Supervisor Warham, council members. My name's Phyllis Hart. I'm here with We Are Wisconsin. I would just like to read something. Pursuant to Section A 1414 through A 1425 Suffolk County Administrative Code, a referral was received on November 12, 2015 at the offices of Suffolk County for Storybook Meadows. Said referral was considered by Suffolk County Planning Department. It is the belief of Suffolk County Commission that due to the nature and location of the application of that time, it was called Storybook Meadows, it's now the Preserve, the following considerations is required. Suffolk County Planning Commission, pursuant to New York State General Municipal Law Section Code 14-14 to 25. The referral of Stony Brook Meadows will not be reviewed until the following is done. Hydrogeologic issues related to stormwater runoff, potential flooding, groundwater travel into ponds and lakes, degree and technology of sewage treatment, discharge of groundwater, traffic, and other related issues. That original study was done in 1994. We are asking for a new environmental study. It was requested by the county, and it never, ever happened.
Ma'am, you have to adjust the board, please.
It was requested by the county, and it never happened. So all of the residents of Wisconsin are requesting a new environmental study. We are also requesting a new traffic study. ARP rated the area 58 out of 100 in walkability for senior citizens. That is going in as an over 55 community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rich Lindy. Rich Lindy. Oh. There is no Rich Lindy. So
Okay,
we're
is that
finished.
all we have?
That's it, we're finished.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the town board, we want to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Healthy New Year to all of you. Thank you for coming this afternoon. I'll move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Wareham,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller,
Yes.
Councilwoman Angelella,
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.